The opening of this week's Torah reading tells us about the mitzvah of circumcision. Now, circumcision is a very interesting mitzvah. I mean, everyone knows what it is, but it's probably the single most observed mitzvah in the history of the Jewish people. You can hardly find a Jew today that is uncircumcised. Even the most secular of Jews comes the 8th day after a baby is born, a boy is born, and there's going to be a circumcision with a photographer, with a meal, with a whole celebration. Why is that? And I've been thinking about it, and to me personally, circumcision is a very interesting mitzvah because I remember when I was sent by the Lubavitcher Rebbe for a semester into Russia in 1990. I was there for a few months, and we were situated in the city of Dnepropetrovsk in the Ukraine. And one day we imported a Mohel doctor to do circumcision, because in Russia, unfortunately, that was the one place that most Jews were not circumcised, not to their fault, not because of their lack of interest, but because it was illegal, and over the years it just fell out of and it was dangerous you could go to jail. Yeah. But we advertised that day that we're going to do circumcision. 6 adults arrived at our hotel room. We were going to do it in the hotel room, and we did it. We turned it into a makeshift hospital. We had 6 beds, and the mole circumcised that day 6 people. And you think, wow, such religious people, they were already at 18 years old, 14 years old. There was one kid 8 years old, that they were so passionate about the mitzvah. The truth of the matter is that these people were all very secular people. They knew nothing about Judaism, but they wanted it very much. And there was something about the mitzvah of circumcision ever since that day when I witnessed this that was always so unique. And I realized that circumcision is a very different kind of mitzvah. And what is it? Why are Jews so committed to this one mitzvah? And it hurts. It's a painful thing. You would think that there's the last mitzvah, right? But I think it has to do with the fact that it's the way we connect to God on the physical level. Our very physical flesh enters into a covenant with God. And what that tells us is that for us Jews, and this is a fundamental in Judaism, our physical and our spiritual are really one. And where does that manifest itself? In the mitzvah of circumcision. There are many other mitzvahs, but primarily in the mitzvah of circumcision. We actually cut out a piece of our flesh and connect to God at that level. You know, you can pray for hours. It's a spiritual experience. You can learn for hours. It's a spiritual experience. And many other mitzvahs, but there's something about the mitzvah of circumcision. And that's why I think it survived the test of time, because it represents the very foundation of Judaism, and that is that God is manifest in every aspect of creation, even the lowest of the low, the very physical flesh of the human being, which could be debased, which could be corrupted. That is where we connect and make a covenant with God. It's the two opposites coming together. And isn't that what Judaism is all about? I saw it in my hotel room in Russia in 1990. 6 ignorant Jews, and I don't mean that in a negative way. They knew nothing about Judaism. But this thing they did, and it was it wasn't 8 days old. I saw it. They were laying in bed for days after that. We made a great celebration a week later. It was one of the most significant days of my life. I'll remember it forever because it was ingrained in me what the ultimate message of Judaism is. That God, spirituality, and the very physical are really all one. Shabbat Shalom.